Welcome to Psychic Girls Next Door. We are your hosts, Shannon Miller
and Lili. This podcast is for all spirituality enthusiasts and psychics next door to share tools, experiences, and spiritual practices that align with your highest vibrational self.
So on today's episode, we will be chatting about the energy of flow. What it is, like what is energetic flow, our experiences with it, and then also like what is the opposite of energetic flow? So yeah.
Good question.
Yes.
So by the traditional definition, flow is a state of mind where one does not worry about time, money, or material possessions. So basically, instead, you decide to relax and take life as it comes. Oof.
That's ideal.
That, like, in theory,
yeah,
that's amazing.
I would love to never worry about money or time, most of the time I don't worry about time, but other life responsibilities get in the way.
True. Yes. If you think of us as humans, those concerns, it seems like they're always going to be there in a way. A societal, there's always this programming conditioning, right? That kind of runs in the background of things. Although I have to say, like, lately, I've had a lot of life's events and transitions and changes that have happened that I've noticed that when I am, and again, I'll talk about one of the definitions that could be defined as the opposite of flow is effort. When I'm in effort, and I'm like trying to force things, and I'm like in survival, basically.
Yeah.
So say, for example, I was transitioning from one job to the next, and there was part of me that I was freaking out.
Oh, yeah. How could you not? That magically worked out.
Yes.
You've figured out a flow.
I sure did, and I started looking at this energy because this energy of effort for me sits pretty much in my lower chakras. So if you're not familiar with chakras, we have the 7 main chakras. They're placed throughout our body. And the lower chakras, they're basically located, around like our belly button, like the base of our spine, and around like where our solar plexus is. And it's all related to body level functions. So, when you feel a lot of anxiety, when you feel it, like that.
You're not safe, or
Yeah, you feel that little butterflies in your stomach, and everything's like kind of like down in that area. So these are the chakras, and all these energy centers that get kind of triggered. And I could feel it. This this tension bubbling.
The weight of uncertainty around.
Oh, it was heavy. It's kind of just like, it's so heavy. But again, like all my energy, my attention, it wasn't this energy of effort. Like, what is going to happen? Oh, am I going to have money for this and that to pay my bills? So it's always kind of like putting this energy in the future, and you kind of try to control also things,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We do tend to go into that space when you analyze a lot of this stuff, and you go back into the past. So it's kind of, I think it goes like back and forth with past decisions, future decisions. But I have a really great friend of mine that is also psychic that we were chatting about this space where he's like, wow, you have a lot of this anxious energy in your space. I'm like, I am anxiety in person. Yeah. I'm walking anxiety right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That's okay. I'm feeling anxious. I'm not going to let this energy kind of take over all over my space. So he said, it will look good to tap into the opposite of that and just kind of explore it. How would that feel in your body? Because your body, all it knows, and the brain's default is also this the alarm bells that goes in your brain, like, oh my gosh, there's change, it's threatening, and it goes into all the survival pictures. What if we would tap into flow? How would that look like? How does your body feel like around this being in flow? So, and I did my homework. I did my diligence, and I sat in meditation, and I'm like, I'm going to say hello to this energy of flow. How is it going to feel? How is it going to look like? And so on and so forth, you know. Oh, sorry, guys. If there is a little noise in the background and a little scratchy and meows,
it is Zoe making her presence known.
She loves this energy. So she wants to also share her own information about how she flows.
Yeah, exactly. She just went to the bathroom. There you go.
There you go.
That's a different type of flow.
Yeah,
not on today's episode.
Absolutely. Rated R.
Yeah, rated R. No.
Anyways, but that's just kind of like how my recent experience has been with flow. But what about for you? How does flow feel for you?
I feel like, well, as a water sign, I love flow. I love floating on the river. I love float.
Sounds amazing.
Flow is in floating, right? Like when I feel like, you know, I'll talk about both, like the energy of effort and resistance that actually gets matched when you are in the energy of effort.
Yes.
So when I feel like I'm in a state of flow, I feel like I'm not paying attention to it. Like, you know, I'm not forcing something to happen. I'm trusting. I'm trusting that I'm getting the information I need. I have the resources I need. Everything's working out for me. Rather than, oh, why is this happening? I have to, because right now I am interviewing and I'm looking for a new job, and I have my last day at my current job is going to be September 1st. And I feel very grateful to know that my current cycle is going to have an end date and I'm going to start something new. Like, how great is it to have a new opportunity just waiting at your door? You know, whatever it is, I don't know. So I have been surprisingly in a state of flow when it comes to trusting that I will be getting interviews and really practicing the discernment around the types of jobs I'm interviewing for, as well as not trying too hard to get a job, because I know that I will get a new job. It's only a matter of time. I'm very fortunate to have 3 interviews on my horizon that are scheduled. So I've been very appreciative of that. Right before this episode, Lili actually gave me a reading and it was amazing. And it's more about the creative flow and tapping into my feminine channels. So I feel like with my work mode self is more operating from my masculine energy, where it might feel like effort in the moment, but it's just like, it's taking action. It's like making things happen. It's like getting that energy to keep flowing, I guess.
Yeah, the more analytical.
Yeah, the more analytical side, where I feel like my creative, I haven't been paying attention or really operating from my feminine flow and like making it, I don't know, making is also a masculine word. Just basically paying attention to receiving the flow of information that I need in order to write my young adult multiverse book series. And I have been, it's not that I don't feel like I've been resistant to having, or just have the language that I'm saying. It's like, all of these words have resistance in them. Like having to write this book, that alone, I'm just dissecting it live with y'all listening right now, but having to write the book. No, yeah. I want to write this book.
Yeah, effort.
Yeah,
it's a chore.
It's effort. So, that's been blocking me from being in a state of creative flow. Feeling like maybe it's it's like an untrue belief, a limiting belief that it's going to take a lot of effort for me to write this book. Maybe it's, I don't know. Well, we went into it in the reading and we can dive into that, but it's not really related to the topic at all. But
no, it
ended up being somewhere else. We flowed somewhere else.
Yeah, you're just flowing with whatever your energy is going. Yeah, but I agree. I think flow is all about creativity. It's about nurturing. yourself. It's about intuition.
Being present in the
Yes,
moment.
it's just like things just kind of have this fluidity to it. I think another word that also would be the opposite of flow is stagnant. And interesting, I see that when I read other people's energy. It's the energy. I think that's kind of like a way that I would describe it. The energy is being stuck or stagnant, and it's a lot related to people being kind of really either fixated or really like hung up on past time experiences and memories, and therefore whenever they want to either create or they wanted to manifest things or make changes, they end up going to past time information. So that also creates an imbalance of how you kind of want to be in this energy of flow and how you want the energy to flow, because you cannot like create from things that are stagnant. You know, and if you look at a whatever, you know, river or a pond that is stagnant, you don't want to like dive into that. You know, that looks yucky.
Yeah. That would give me the ick.
Yeah, I like, gosh, no, I don't want that. And you want like something, you know, energy that is refreshing, that is clear.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you want to draw your energy from. So I think a good, maybe step for people is to look at where in your life that you have been like, you know, whether it be a belief, information, or people in your life or situations that you keep like still putting a lot of effort into.
Or it's almost like you're hitting a wall.
Yeah.
With either someone, if you're trying so hard to make a relationship happen, or
a job.
Or a job happen, any situation, like, you know, being in the energy of effort, it can just become repetitive. And it's the universe showing you when you're constantly feeling like you're hitting a wall or you're not making progress. It's the energy, or it's the universe showing that you need to redirect your energy elsewhere. Like,
well, yeah, because wherever you are, that you know how people say, "Oh, I feel stuck," or you basically energetically you might be stuck. I don't say like in a way that you don't have any alternatives or any other options, but it's pretty much the space where you kind of limit yourself. So you limit yourself to this space where it's like, oh, it's this is my life.
Right. It's a belief like this is the best I can get. Or,
this is it. This is my life. I wake up. I have this routine. I'm miserable. I hate my job. So this becomes your narrative around it. And therefore you kind of dictate the energy around it. It's like, well, this is it.
Yeah.
So you don't give space, or you don't allow space for, you know, other things to come. And it's also like, I think when you are, you know, fixated, or you are like just putting a lot of your energy and attention in things that are not working in your life, everything that is like, this job sucks, this relationship is horrible, the friends, you know, that are not serving you, whatever's not serving your life, you put a lot of the attention in that. So that's where it's going to stay. You know, energy stay in that space. And again, it becomes a stagnant pond, like, you know, like metaphorically speaking. Therefore, there's no space for flow of energy to come and maybe might be clean out and refresh things, you know, or recycle.
Yeah.
Recycle things around that.
Yeah, it becomes really murky. And so then you get stuck in this like narrative or this like stagnant energy that you've become so used to. It's almost like, I think we've talked about this before on a few episodes, of being comfortable with discomfort and like being not even realizing like that there could be something completely different and better aligned for you. Whether it's a job or, you know, a new, you know, relationship or just being alone. Like, you know, let's talk about that. Like being like, for me, I am actively not dating. And that is where my energy is present and it's flowing. Like, I'm not trying to have a relationship anymore. For years, I was trying, always in the state of effort of trying to set up dates, trying to get somebody to message me back, trying too hard to look a certain way, or, well, you know, I would practice for these interviews. Like, because I would be like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know how to do this. And so when you're in that energy of uncertainty, it can feel almost like you're stuck or have limited, you know, resources. In that situation, it was like topics of conversation were like my limited resources. Where like now I'm like, I can talk to anyone about anything, wherever, like regardless of like who I'm with. But I'm also not operating from a place of like trying too hard to get somebody to want to be with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you means basically you're forcing.
Yeah.
You're forcing things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that picture of like trying to force doors they're not meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that a lot too lately. I was actually giving, and again, like going back to the energy readings, I was reading someone not too long ago, and this person kept like insisting about this one particular field or career that she wanted to go in. And I kept seeing, I was like, listen, it's like you keep trying to open doors where your keys don't fit, and you know, and this door is not meant for you, and there's like thousands or infinity of doors like around it, but you just kind of like all your energy in this door that is not meant to be open. It's not for you. So how about we expand that?
Yeah.
So I think it's about like expanding your perception, expanding the things outside, whatever it is that you like, you know, you put all this, all that you like can think of. And again, I'm guilty too.
Oh, yeah.
Guilty, like, you know,
Speaking from experience.
Yeah, guilty. I mean, I've been there, done that. Not too long ago, I had a lot of resistance, like even changing from one job to the next. And I knew it in my heart that it was, you know, things, they were meant to, there was a cycle of completion that was meant to happen. And again, you mentioned, you know, you go into this place of uncertainty. Oh gosh, what's going to happen next? I don't know. And all this fear that just kind of creeps up. But trusting, you know, people might say trust God, trust the universe, or whatever it is that you believe, trust life, that it will kind of guide you. For a lot of people, and for myself included, there's a lot of fear around that. And it's the uncertainty of not knowing where things are going to lead next.
It's releasing control.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you just want to make sure that things are kind of remain the same, but different.
Right. Like, make sure you're still able to, like, live the life you're living, or whatever that means for you.
The way that you've been doing, but you want it different. But there's no way that this is going to happen. You have to, it's kind of closing that chapter of your book. And in order for you to move on to the next chapter, you do have to finish the chapter you're on.
Yeah. And you got to turn the page and then information.
Start like writing a new story for yourself.
Yeah.
However you want it.
Right.
You know, so I think it's about also you expanding there's unlimited possibilities in this universe, because we are very bounded by this physical experience that we have, right? We can only like gather what we see with our physical eyes, but also understanding there's way more than that.
Oh, there's so much more.
Yes. Oh,
it's just a matter of like taking a step back and out of the situation. And I think I'm handling like my work situation and transition so not seamlessly, because I'm not perfect, but like I've just been in a state of flow around it, because I was able to take a step back, and like my body, I felt it in my body. My body was like, girl, this is not the place for you. Yeah. Like, you deserve better, whatever, you know, like recognizing your worth. Because if you're in a situation where you don't feel like you're being appreciated, you're being seen, you're being valued, heard, whatever it is, like you need to take a step back and energetically remove yourself from that situation as best as you can, so that you can see clearly and neutrally and take a look at the situation.
Yeah, step into your worth.
Yeah, step into your worth.
And say, you know, I deserve better.
Absolutely.
I deserve to be with people that respect me.
Yeah.
And they want to be around me and that appreciate my work.
Totally.
Or myself.
Don't treat you like trash, you know, or whatever it is.
Appreciate you as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just being who you are. Yeah, well, interesting that you've mentioned that, but I think it's also letting go of this attachment.
Yes.
That we have to things. And of course, like say if you've been at a job, like I've been at my last job for 4 years.
It's a while.
And then there's a certain level of attachment to the people that you work with, to the job that you've been doing, to the routine that you've had throughout the years. And changing that, there's a lot of resistance.
Right. Oh, totally. Especially if you are one who likes routine and you rely on routine. And like, for me, I do like a general idea of what I'm going to be doing. But I think when it comes, maybe I've been practicing this state of flow around work in general. I mean, the environment I'm in now, I have to just be in a flow state and kind of go with the flow because it's just every day is different. Every hour is different. Something new. And then there's reactive and I just got to be agile and flow with it. And that's okay. Like I've been that's how I've been surviving in this job. But I haven't been able to thrive because there isn't any structure.
Yeah. Well, it's not intentional either.
Yeah.
You kind of,
that's a good one. Yeah.
You're going with the flow, but you're going with other people's flow.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I think when you are intentional with your flow, you flow with your own energy. Mm-hmm. I see that a lot because I work with children and I cannot think of anyone else that is more in flow than children.
Yeah.
You look at children, they absolutely, don't care. And they just kind of really live moment to moment and they're very present with whatever they're in. And it's kind of like how it is. But I think us, of course, as we grow older, as adults, we do have a lot of responsibilities. But when you set the intention to just tell yourself, you know what? Whatever happens, I'm going to be okay.
Absolutely.
Everything
yourself that you're going to be fine.
You just kind of have, and I think that's where I also I told myself, I have been through a lot of challenging situations.
Right.
And I've survived all of them.
Yeah.
So whatever comes, I'm going to be okay. I'll figure it out. I think we do also tap into our resilience, of course, our strength, and you have to have the courage to.
Yeah.
Right? To tap into all of this, because if you stay in a place of fear and where you kind of either make yourself small, where you let other people walk all over you, whatever it is, it's basically you tell yourself, well, I don't deserve all these things. I don't deserve the flow of things, because flow is also abundance.
Yeah, that's very true.
It also matches with the energy of abundance because it's this a constant flow of giving, receiving, so it kind of taps into that too. And when I was having my conversations with God or the universe, I was having a lot of conversations lately. Excuse me?
Frequent caller.
Yes. It's that universal hotline. Yeah. That's where I've been calling him. Hello.
Yeah.
I need help here.
Yeah.
And it's okay to ask for help, guys.
Totally.
You guys will say, you guys are psychic. Just manifest or look into it. Not that simple.
Right.
We're humans.
We get in our own way.
We sure do.
I think everyone gets in their own way.
Regardless with our psychic abilities or not. I mean, I'm glad that I have psychic friends that I can kind of, ask for help.
Tap in.
To ask God or whatever is a higher source that you connect with for help. And I say, listen, I need some assistance here because I believe that I don't think we can do things alone here in this physical plane. I think we do need a little help. Divine guidance.
I agree with you.
We do need some divine guidance. And I had my chats and I said, just please show me everything that is good that can possibly happen in my life.
Yeah.
And just I'm okay, I'm open and I'm ready to receive it with my arms wide open.
Totally.
Give it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, that does work. not always, but a lot of the time, like when I feel like the energy's not moving, it's not flowing, I will say, universe, please show me how good it can get. And I truly wholeheartedly believe that. And then it feels like I literally felt the release in my heart chakra right now. Like just a release of, it opens up and it just chills out a little bit.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
wonderful.
Literally on Urban Dictionary, like someone, we were looking at like, state of flow definitions earlier. And the example is an unhappy person says life sucks. And then the person next to them, like, bro, saying, nah, man, just chill and go with the flow. And
I love that.
Literally like that. I feel like that's what my spirit guides are saying. Like, just chill and go with the flow. And like, everything's happening for you, not to you. Yes. And then you can take your power back. Because a lot of the times, like, people feel powerless when something doesn't work out or like something didn't go according to plan that they didn't foresee or properly prepare for. And it can be like a very just jarring feeling. And then you can either feel powerless and then you go into victim mode. So in order to get into a state of feeling like not a victim, which is, you never want to feel like a victim, take your power back. Like, I was talking to one of my friends like the other day and they were talking about their work situation. I'm like, take your power back. Mm-hmm. And then it's like something like shook off of them and they're like, oh my God, like I am giving away my power to the opinions of these people or whatever it is. And I think that can be a very, pun intended, an empowering feeling.
Yes.
When you take your power back and you realize, like, because when you are in a state of flow, you're not worried about that stuff. You're not worried at all. You're just literally chilling and going with the flow and allowing yourself to receive the information, receive the abundance, receive the opportunities.
Yes, well, you're not controlling.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of like you're the driver's seat. You're driving. You still like, because of course you are, you drive and you have kind of like, where you're going with your life and you're the one that pretty much you paved the way of your own life. But again, you also want to allow life or universe, whatever you believe in, to kind of show you which path that is most aligned with you as you're kind of driving along, your own highway. And there is no right or wrong with this, with where you're going. And people might say, that didn't work. Why, it's just a detour. Turn around and keep moving forward. Because I think also when people say, that didn't work, that always like, I think it's a lot in scarcity. Mm-hmm. Didn't work. I didn't get the job. And I've also been through this, like, not too long ago, you go through some interviews and it's like, that, you get a no. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was like, well, that was not meant to be.
Exactly.
And that's it. And then, okay, what's next? Mm-hmm. Let's move forward and just move forward.
Yeah.
With life. And I stopped on dwelling because I've had friends that were like, well, do you know why you didn't get the job and why didn't say no? I was like, no, I don't need to know.
No, you don't need to know that.
I'm not. And I said,
it's going to validate you in some way.
And I said, my time and energy are precious. I do want to devote this energy and time to actually align with something that matches. Yeah. So I'm not going to worry about things that didn't match.
Like, it doesn't matter why.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Because it's not going to serve me.
Right.
And if there is a positive feedback, of course, please let me know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But if and I said, it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
I am not going to be dwelling on this.
Not at all.
Just, I'm going to move forward and just like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Just and trust that I am moving forward in the right direction.
Yeah.
In the direction that I'm supposed to be moving.
I think that's great. And so something I also researched was on Psychology Today. It talks about positive psychology. And there's a Hungarian-American psychologist, Mihaly I'm not even going to just say the name. We'll tag it. But we'll just call him MC. And he talked about when artists get in the state of flow and they hunger or like being fatigue won't even get in the way because they're in the state of flow, the process of creation. And they give tips on how to actually achieve flow. So the first step, clear goals at every step. So setting your clear goals, setting your intention.
Intentional flow.
Exact intentional flow. And then like immediately see the fruits of one's actions. Because when you set your intention, you set your goals, and then you properly, tangibly see like, what do I actually need to do? So for myself, like, what do I actually need to do to sit down and write? I need to sit down and I need to pull up a Google Doc and type away. It's very clear.
Yeah, it's like, what do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need money. And okay, what are the steps that we have to take about also bringing in money and being in the flow of having the abundance and prosperity? Sometimes you don't even have to know like what it is, but just maybe knowing the qualities around that also helps too. So just being more intentional about what it is that you want to bring in with the flow.
Yeah. And another thing that points out is the process of enjoyment.
Oh,
isn't that a great feeling?
That is an awesome feeling. Just a feeling of joy.
Just joy itself, like the process of just enjoying the process, going along for the ride.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good antidote for doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a great energy to tap into. And it doesn't mean that you ignore your current situation. I think it's just really making this conscious shift to look at the situation and say, okay, is this teaching me something? And what it is that I need to do to be in the state of joy and be in a state of amusement. Because it's way more fun to be in amusement than it is to be in doubt or sadness or anything like that. And again, it's okay to feel all of that. You can feel sad. I felt sad. I still feel sad.
Totally.
Yeah, there's some grief that comes when you also make changes from one thing to the next. But I think when you get into this energy of when you flow, you just don't want to be anywhere else. Mm-hmm. You just always want to be riding that flow of life.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my, this is incredible.
Right. So you're not worried about time, resources, failure, whatever it is. Like you're just actively in present time, tapping into your flow state. And I think a lot of good things can be manifested from that frequency that people run at when they're in the state of flow.
Yes, but also look at your beliefs that you have around flow. I think that would be also another good step. It's just what comes to you when you think about the flow of things. Do you feel you deserve it? That you're worth of being in the flow of things where you don't have to worry about things really flowing in your life, because a lot of us do have a lot of limiting beliefs that we don't deserve it or it only happens to others. So it's a good space to just start with that and just start challenging those beliefs.
I love that.
So the small steps.
Yeah. Well, we hope that y'all have enjoyed our chat about the energy of flow. We really appreciate you listening to today's episode of Psychic Girls Next Door. And if you have experiences of how to tap into your flow state, how to, release resistance, release effort for the state of being in flow, please comment, please message us, DM us on Instagram. You can find us Psychic Girls Next Door with underscores between each word on Instagram. We have a website, but we want to hear from you and hear your stories.
Yeah, follow us on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, we have a TikTok.
Yes, we do have it.
Active.
We are all over social media. But if you like this episode, share with your friends, share with your community. We really appreciated you taking your time and your energy being here. Hopefully, also this information also it flew,
Yeah.
through this microphone, through the electronics into your energetic space. And we look forward to our next episode.
Thank you so much. See you next time.